another collaboration with an amazing sewing vlogger. And do you think it's possible to make 2 full denim jackets in 48 hours? Stay tuned. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina. This is Lifting Pins and Needles, a channel all about sewing, limitless sewing. As I mentioned, this is another collaboration. You would have seen one yesterday. I had mentioned I was going to have a bit of an increased frequency in videos, trying to catch up for gaps of periods that I didn't upload in the last 2 weeks. So bear with me. If you're enjoying the content, you're going to have an extra amount in the next couple of days. If you're enjoying the thrice weekly sewing content of this channel, consider subscribing. Tap on that bell so you never miss when I upload a video full of sewing tips and tricks. Like, comment, because I reply to all your comments. Today I want to show you a new denim jacket. It's a new pattern release by H2Stitch. The jacket is called Atenas Denim Jacket. When I was accepted to test this jacket, I found Whitney in the same testing group. Whitney is another sewing vlogger. Her sewing channel is called TomKat Stitchery. You most probably know about her and follow her. When I saw that Whitney was in the testing group, I thought, wouldn't that be fun to collaborate on, because we're both doing the same project in the same time frame. So I reached out to her, asked her if she'd like to collaborate with me, and she agreed. And I get to pretend I have a friend there sewing with me, because this is pretty isolating really. Most of the time we're sewing on our own. So when the chance to sew with someone, even if it's far away, comes up, I think it's really fun. And for you, I think it's fun to see the same project done by 2 different people with totally different viewpoints, choices, everything. Now back to what this pattern is all about. It has a lot of features like a denim jacket would. It has double front princess seams, chest pockets with flaps, front and back yokes, single welt pockets, button side tab, slightly dropped shoulders, 2-piece sleeve, and sleeve vent with cuffs. Many of the features I just mentioned, because you might be a bit overwhelmed with all that list, are actually optional and described as such in the pattern. You can choose to do flat felt seams. There is a photo tutorial, very detailed, or you can do 4 flat felt seams, and that's what I've chosen to do. You can also opt out of the single welt pockets. There is a really good tutorial there as well, and the bust pockets can be fake. And well, let me tell you, I've chosen the fake flat felt seams. Thank you very much. My machine does not have the strength to go through all those layers, and I think a 4 flat seam is also a neat finish inside. About the fake bust pockets, knowing the equipment that I have available to me and the strength and weakness of my serger, I know that in no way, shape or form am I going to be able to serge through multiple layers around this yoke area where the bust pocket is. Had I done the full functional bust pocket inside that has lining and extra layers, there is no way I could have done it. And I even struggled doing the fake, bust pocket. And when I show you the jacket, I'll show you inside how it looks. Yeah, a bit of hand cranking going on. not very pretty. Due to a decision I made, I also opted out of the single welt pockets, although I have the pattern pieces cut out and everything. I have the welt piece interfaced, the lining, I have it all ready to go, but I didn't do it. This pattern is designed for medium weight wovens that are crisp, so nothing drapey. So your typical denim, twill, broadcloth, I have no idea what that is, but that is described in the pattern. Now I'm just gonna go straight up and tell you the reason I didn't make the welt pockets is because I made 2. And yeah, when you're making 2 jackets in 48 hours, one of the techniques had to go because I just didn't have the time. Yes, this pattern test started when my parents were still here. When they left, I spent some time sewing the muslin, filming the muslin, all the things I'm going to show you. And then when it got to the time of making the actual jackets, I was in a major time crunch. So yes, I'm talking about this right now because I want to tell you what fabrics I chose. So I wanted the typical denim jacket. I don't have one. I don't have a typical blue denim jacket at all. I've made denim jackets, but I've always made them like out of linen, and you probably would have seen some of those in the channel during this year. I wanted a denim one. I had the denim, so yeah. But then I got to thinking, yeah, that's going to be a workhorse. It'll be something I'm going to wear for 20 more years, you know, until it rips. But, you know, I had a fabric in my stash that I'd been hoarding for years. I bought this other fabric in Bolivia when I lived over there in the street markets. It's a home furnishing fabric, canvas type, but very soft, very denim-like feel. It behaves like denim. Basically, I would describe it as a medium weight denim with print. So yes, very special. I had it there. As soon as I saw the line drawings of this jacket, I just pictured that jacket in that print fabric. And yeah, that's why I decided to make two. One is going to be the workhorse, the other one is a treat for me. It's a type of garment I'm going to have to like make clothes to go with it, because there's not much in there that will go with it. But yeah, you know, Kenneth, she made two jackets. When you look at the website and see her version, if you click through all the photos, there's two there. And I thought, you know, let's just make two. Now, after you watch my video, head over to Whitney's channel so you can see hers. I was super inspired by her version. She's talking about thrifted denim and how she sources it and how she uses denim clothes to actually get all the pattern pieces to make her jacket. She made her whole denim jacket out of thrifted denim. And I think that's really cool. I've been hoarding my son's old jeans that don't fit him anymore. But you know, they're child sizes, and if you look at those little legs, yeah, for my size at least, I'm not gonna get a full jacket out of there. But I've been saving it to make a skirt, and I'm excited to give that a go. I know I have the denim there, and seeing Whitney's jacket really inspired me to do that sort of sooner rather than later, because it's really fun, you know. It's a really good way to use material that's already out there in the world. The sizing for this pattern comes from 00 to 20 US as usual. Woven patterns from each to stitch have individual cup sizes from A through to double D. Body measurements wise, the bust goes from 30 and an eighth to 49 inches, hips 33 and a quarter to 48 inches. The ease at the bust is anywhere from 4 to 6 inches depending on the size and the cup size that you've chosen for your body. The ease at the hips, the completed finished garment measurement at the hips, is 1 to 2 inches, but actually this garment doesn't reach the full hip. It reaches sort of mid hip from the nape down to where the length is at the back. It's about 23.5 inches for my size. I chose a straight size 14 with a C cup, which is what I usually sew in woven patterns from each to stitch. I sort of know the fit already, so I went through that and made a muslin. Due to the features of this pattern that has double princess seams described on the front, I always know there's going to be a need for customization on the shape. You know, everyone's bust is so different. You know, I'm a C cup. In theory, I have a 3-inch difference between my high and my full bust. But usually the fullness of my bust is lower, and then I get some sort of fullness here on the upper chest. So I know that happens. I wanted to make the muslin. I also wanted to film for you lots of the construction process on the muslin, because I chose a bright yellow cotton that I'm sewing with green thread. You can actually see everything that I'm doing there. So in Up Close and So Personal, what you're going to see is construction of the front and back pattern pieces. You're going to see my fit muslin on, how I sorted out the fitting issue on my upper bust, and what minor fitting issue I decided not to tackle.
Don't you think this is starting to wear on me? You've been raining down like hail. I'm weak. I have tried to give you my soul, but you...
Here you can see all the pattern pieces for the front of the denim jacket. So one for one side and one for the other. There is a yoke on the top, and then there is a center front, a middle inset, and the side. These have all the shaping for the cup size that you've chosen. I'm making a C cup as usual, so you can see all the curves and where all the darts for shaping have been incorporated there. This has different seam allowance for different areas of construction, so it's a type of pattern you need to follow instructions to see what you have to sew, not just assume everything is 1/2 inch of seam allowance. Now this has like an integrated facing for the center front, and the areas that I have sort of just colored with pen is where there are separate pattern pieces that will have your interfacing. So there are separate interfacing pattern pieces for you to fuse onto these center areas there. So that's why I scribbled on there so you could see. There are loads of notches everywhere for you to fold in all sorts of places. Now on these, there is a bust pocket there. So you construct your bust pocket first, then put the yoke on, and there you can see the marks of where the openings are supposed to be. You know, your notches for your sleeves. This is the front, the waist, and here to attach these, there are notches too. So that one goes there, these two go together, then that notch goes with that one, and this one with that one. So following the notches, it's really easy to put these together. So I like taking my time to actually learn how this is going to go together. This is just a muslin, but this is very important, I think, not only for assessing fit, but to actually get the construction down and what pieces go with what. So I'm actually going to pin that there. Just put a pin there, put a pin there, so I know that that's how it goes and I don't have to think about it when I go and sew. I have the front pieces here, the center, the middle inset and the side, and you can see where there's a curve there and there is a notch. So the instructions ask you to just mark 3 inches from there, below and above. I've just done little 2 red dots. They're not notches as such. They're just references for you to do some basting stitches. So I've just done that with a longer stitch length of 4. And that is to help you when you sew the seam, that you can pull on this to help ease in that curve onto that. So it's going to be eased in really well. This is going to help. So I've done that basting stitch that you can see in white there at 1/2 inch right there. And then with green, you can see the seam I've done with 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, which is what's indicated for these seams. So that basting stitch is within the seam allowance, and it just helped ease into this curve there. It's not like you're gathering it, but you're pulling it. You can see that extra fullness there. Now on the other middle inset on the other side, over here, you need to do the same. So there is that first notch there. You mark 3 inches below and above, do your basting stitch that I've done there, 1/2 inch seam allowance. And now I'm going to pin this to the center one. The same, matching the notches, but there's going to be a bit of fullness there that you pull on these strings to ease that in, and that's going to allow for the C-cup volume required right there. Very clever. So I have one completed there. This is the front. I have still to attach the yoke on the top. As you can see, I've done some top stitching just to show you how it's going to look. I've done that with my 1/4 inch foot. And now on the wrong side, what you do to these seams is press them out. So one is pressed towards the lateral, towards the side. The other one is pressed towards the center. So when you look at the seams, they're that way and then that way. Here you can see that basting stitch that helped me sew the curve there for the fullness. The other one is tucked in under there. And now I haven't serged or anything. I'm just going to be doing fake flat felt, which means I'm just going to trim that with the serger a little bit narrower there. But I just wanted to show you how it's going to look. You can see that there's all that volume there for the bust with these curves there. Now on the other side, I'm not going to top stitch because I'm actually going to fit this on myself. If I need to make any adjustment on where my bust volume is, I'm going to do it on this side that's not top stitched. Here you can see when I've attached all these, I have the markings there for the bust pocket and they match everything perfect. I'm not doing that, but if you do want to do the bust pocket, that's where it goes. What I'm going to be doing is top stitching here with a mark and just doing like a fake pocket that's going to be top stitching, and then I am going to be doing the bust flap there with a button. I have the front yoke here pinned right sides together to all this front area here. And on the yoke you're going to find lots of notches. That one, this is the center, this is all the area that's going to be interfaced, you know, on the fashion fabric. So that notch matches that notch on the jacket, that one matches the other one there, that's the center, and then this one matches that notch, and this notch matches the seam line, this one matches that seam line from the middle inset, that notch matches that one, and then you get to the end. So you have a little bit protruding there because of the 5/8 seam allowance, you know. Anyway, every notch matches. I'm going to sew that, and then I've already done that on this side. I need to press the seams up towards the yoke, finish the seam like however you're doing it, and then top stitch with a 1/4 inch seam, just like the ones I've done over there. But this is the side I'm doing top stitching on, I'm not doing it on that side. These are the back pattern pieces. That is the yoke on the top there, the center, back, and the 2 laterals. You can see the shaping there for the back. No boxiness here, although the jacket has some ease. The shape of it is not like a box, you know. So there's notches to help you everywhere. Here are your double notches to match your sleeve, and here you have a notch to match these two there, and below that has been incorporated into the seam. You find that on both sides. The back is very simple to put together, much easier than the front. There is a yoke on the top, there is a center piece, the 2 lateral pieces, 5/8 seam allowance. There are a few notches that match perfect, and then the seams are pressed to the side that way. On the jean jacket, this will also have top stitching. I do that from the right side with a 1/4 inch. Now there is shaping here. It's a very nice shape. So now having the front and the back constructed, all I need to do now is unite them by the shoulder seams. This is a fit clip, size 14, no fit modifications, nothing, just sewn straight out of the printer. I think the fit around the waist and hips is good. I have a bit of fullness here on the top, but that is very common for me. I just need to sort of reshape this area a little bit. That is very common for me. The shoulder is dropped as described. I think it fits like it's supposed to. I have good movement with the sleeve. The cuff length, I think I could use with 1/2 inch more. I'll lengthen the sleeve piece for me. The cuff is fully attached, and I think it's a tad short for me for my arms. I don't have the band there, so I think the total length for me is fine. At the back, I think the fit is okay. This is just cotton, so everything looks a bit more wrinkly, but I'm overall super happy with it. The only thing I would just play around with a little bit more is this fullness I have right there. You can see it on the side too. I think the back is okay. If I wanted to be perfectionist, there is a little bit of excess there at the back, a tiny amount of sway back. I don't think it's really that important. I think I can get away with just that. I pinned it out there. It's so small. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of overfitting. I am not going to adjust that. It's just too small. To fix the extra fullness I have at the bust, I have just got some pins and put this on like while I had it on. So my bust height is around there, and that's why I start pinning from there up to where that fullness was. And now it's only 1/8 of an inch really that I'm bringing in the seam allowance on this seam and on that seam. You can see there. So by bringing in 1/8 here and there, I'm actually taking out 1/4 and 1/4. So I'm removing 1/2 an inch from this area in total at the top, and that is going to affect the yoke. You can see the yoke now is protruding here, the front top yoke there. I have modified the arm side of the yoke there to match the seam line there. And so I have to modify from this there, add on my 5/8 of an inch seam allowance there. And now this is going to be my new yoke piece. And I'm going to just transfer these marks onto the pattern pieces. Here you can see the 3 front pattern pieces, the center, the middle inset, and the side front. And there is a first notch there for each of these. Now draping it onto myself, about 1/4 of an inch above. This notch is from where I need to start tapering, straight 1/8 of an inch. So that's what I've done. The same that I did on my muslin with the pins, I've done now, and that line brings it in 1/8 of an inch. So I've done that to that piece there because these unite, and over here as well, that red line there. So I'm going to trim this off, and my new pattern pieces will have slightly less there to account for the hollowness in my upper chest. And now on the yoke, because this goes onto there, these little notch marks aren't really going to match anymore, but that doesn't matter. I have taken out from here that 1/2 inch that I had from the excess there. So just slightly taper in that 1/2 inch, and now my yoke is going to match this, and I won't have that excess there on the upper chest and on the arm side area that I was getting due to my body shape. I hope you enjoyed that segment and it was helpful for you. Denim jackets are not scary. It's just a lot of straight seams, more pattern pieces than usual. But you know, it's a really fun project to take on. I had a lot of fun making the muslin and the 2 versions. I feel like I know the pattern by heart now, which is really good because I want to make it again, definitely. I'll show you the denim blue one first, which is going to be my workhorse. This denim is not very heavyweight at all. I would say it's a medium weight denim. I have no idea about the ounces it weighs. I have no idea, but I like it. It's got a slight sheen to it. Now, I'm all about being slightly dressier than normal. I'm not a very casual person. And you probably noticed that when you see how I style my pictures, you know, I don't usually wear sneakers and like jeans and stuff. And to make my denim jacket a bit more dressier, so I can wear it to church and stuff, I did the top stitching in grey. I had my second machine set up right next to it with the top stitching thread, so it was a matter of just going back and forth. I chose to do the fake bust pocket there. So the flap there goes inside the yoke pieces, and it looks like there's a pocket there, but actually you just grab the pattern piece of the lining. If you're doing the real pocket, you discount the seam allowance, you place it there and you trace it. I traced mine with chalk, and then I just top stitched on the fake pocket on the other side. No pocket. There is a piece of interfacing that you fuse on there to reinforce the button area. Look, this is what I was mentioning about the difficulty with my serger. This area here of the front yoke to the front is the thickest. Look how unpretty that serging is, and it's because from there to there I was basically hand cranking the serger like and it was just, yeah, it was not very nice. So imagine if I would have put the lining and actually done the full functional pocket there. There's no way I would have been able to do that. And yeah, I found a packet of 20 buttons. Now they're quite generic. They actually say jeans wear. They're like brassy colored, you know, whatever. It's what I could find. I needed 10 buttons for each. The cuffs there have a button. There is a sleeve vent that I mentioned was part of the feature. The 2-piece sleeve that is top stitched there on that seam. The yoke, the back, the center there. Now you would have seen it up close. I'm so personal. I could have adjusted for a tiny sway back, but actually it was ridiculous. It was very small, and I never really want to go into that overfitting rabbit hole. It's not me. I do like things to fit well, but when it's such a minor thing, I'm not gonna get that specific to like modify and do the whole sway back adjustment for a 1/4 of an inch. I mean, no. I'm gonna show you more details of the jacket when I have it on, so let's have a look. Here I'm in the garden with my jacket. I'm opening it to show you I didn't put the welt pockets. You can see the shaping at the bust is really nice. At the back, really, I didn't need to do that sway back adjustment. It was just minor. I think the fit is really good here. After I've done that adjustment, you can see that double princess seam there. The fit is awesome, better than any other jacket I've made at the bust, and that's because it's customized for a C cup. Up close is the cuff and the button. I'm really proud of that, how it turned out. I've got the jacket open there, and up close here you can see the bust pocket that is actually not there, but it does look like it's there, so it's just a pretty feature. It's just a non-functional nothing. It's a button for show, and it makes it look like a real denim jacket. When it's buttoned, it fits really well. I rarely wear jackets buttoned up anyway. Underneath, you can see my Crystal Cove cami. There is the button band with all the buttonholes. Really fun project to make. And yeah, those special buttons I told you that say jeans wear. Up close, you can see the collar, how neatly it's finished inside. That is integrated into the front piece. There's no separate band for the buttons. You can see the double row of top stitching on the collar. For the top stitching, all the bobbin thread is blue, so that's why you can't see anything underneath. There's the shoulders, have been top stitched. And at the back, you can see I'm trying to flip my hair away to show you the yoke. It's all very neat. I'm really proud of this jacket. It's just been an amazing project to make. I made it very quickly, but I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much.
Don't you think this is starting to wear on me? You've been raining down like hail. I'm weak. I have tried to give you my soul, but you can't love something you own. It's too late to repair what we made. What can I do?
Okay, the second one, and this is a special one. This is home furnishing fabric, and I knew it when I bought it on the selvage. It said the brand Waverly. It said even the collection Old Vintage Roses or something like that. I was able to look it up online, and I'm gonna pop a picture of a whole living room of someone's like home decor with, you know, curtains and cushions with this fabric. I got this in the street market in Bolivia for not much at all, and I always knew it was a garment fabric for me. So I made a denim jacket with it, and it was perfect. So here it is. I love the flowers. It's got like a beigey color background. I was super careful. I knew these big flowers were around the print. I was careful to not have one of them be there at the bust area. I played around with the placement. The construction was the same. I actually made this one first. I did the top stitching with the same thread I was sewing the jacket with. You can see the double row of top stitching there on the collar. Everything is top stitched exactly the same as the blue one. Only because I was at the machine sewing, I was just sewing, top stitching, sewing, top stitching. You know, I didn't have a top stitching thread that would match this. Now, I know some people sew with regular thread and they put it through double, through the needle. I didn't want to do that. I did do the double thread there for the fake pocket there that I'm pointing at. So that is the only area where I threaded the machine with double amount of thread. You can still see it. I can see the top stitching everywhere when I look at it. The jacket is exactly the same length, same adjustment. There is absolutely nothing different with this jacket to the blue jacket. And they were made in fast succession, one after the other. It was sort of like production line of denim jackets. Here you can see this special jacket on just with a denim skirt and a navy blue top underneath. I think that goes really well. And the fit is the same as you saw on the other one. It's just that this print is more wow. It's like got the wow factor. It's not the common jacket you would see made in this style. And I'm super happy to have it with me. You can see me doing a few twirls with it buttoned up. Up closer, you can see the same details, the same fit. Just a different jacket basically. You can see I've got one sleeve folded up and the other one not. Who knows why I did that? I have no idea. Here are the bust pockets that I'm showing you again, that they're just totally fake and they're just for show. It makes me laugh that we sew things that are fake, but hey, looks are important too, and if people walk past and think there's a pocket there, I'm happy. The collar fits really well, it's really easy to sew. It's just an amazing pattern that fits amazingly. Inside is very neat, no welt pockets for this seamstress. Thank you very much.
Don't you think this is starting to wear on me? You've been raining down like hail. I'm weak. I have tried to give you my soul, but you can't love something you own. It's too late to repair.
Now, this sleeve, it's a two-piece sleeve. It's got some features, some top stitching. It's got this vent that is totally functional with a cuff. And I have filmed a very detailed step-by-step on how to construct this, the sleeve, even how to set the sleeve in. It's all been filmed using my muslin fabric, which is the lovely yellow that you've already seen. And I am compiling that, and I'm going to have a separate video tutorial just about the sleeve. So I didn't want to insert all that into this one, or else the video would be like an hour long, and who's gonna watch an hour long video? Make sure to go over to Whitney's channel and watch her take on the denim jacket and all the things she has to say and advise about it. The affiliate link for this amazing jacket pattern is down in the description box. As always, if you purchase through that link, I receive a small commission from that sale, and that helps support the channel. Consider spending some more time watching hundreds of videos available in this channel, or for your sewing entertainment and learning. Thanks for watching. Bye, and I'll see you soon. Tomorrow probably.
But you can't